ending. Wow. So I wasn't sure if I was going to do this or not, but I decided to because I had a few things I wanted to say about the game, some things that crossed my mind while playing and after playing the game. I'm recording this 2 days after finishing the game, and there's just a few things that bothered me or just kind of I noticed, like I just said, but repeating myself, whatever. One thing I have to say is love the game. Easily Game of the Year contender along with BioShock Infinite. I have a feeling the Game of the Year is either going to be The Last of Us or BioShock Infinite. And everything is really great about this game. The story is great. The game sets up so well in the opening sequence for just emotional roller coaster ride. The game itself, really good. I would like to just say the game up until winter, the part where you first play as Ellie, it's really good. But after you start playing as Ellie, as in that segment, the game just ramps up so well that it is honestly, from that point on, it is probably the best thing I've ever played in a video game. It's so good. It's honestly, I don't have words for it, but I wanted to throw that out there, first of all. Second of all, the road tripping across America is something it concerns me because it doesn't seem very logical in a sense, because they're going, okay, so first they were in Boston, right? They went from Boston to Pittsburgh in a truck. It's reasonable. And then you're stuck in Pittsburgh after the truck crashes and after Sam dies and Henry dies. And apparently they walk from Pittsburgh to Wyoming in between summer and fall, because it goes from summer to autumn or fall. I forget what they have in the game. In between the sequence going from Pittsburgh to walking to Wyoming. I don't know. That just seems weird that they'd be able to walk all that way without anything dramatic happening, mainly in a world filled with zombies. But that's just me. And then they go from Wyoming to reasonable enough. And then they go from, I don't know where they go from Colorado when Joel gets hurt to going to Utah. I don't know where they stay at all, but then going from Colorado to Utah walking while Joel is, still pretty hurt, I'm guessing. And the main thing is just walking from Pittsburgh to Wyoming. That just seems like a big distance to walk without running into any real trouble, but I'll put that aside. I also want to talk about the ending, mainly that it was the ending that was kind of expected, because you can't really expect that the game's going to end with, oh, she can produce the cure, and she's alive, and the cure is produced for everything, and the world's all better now. No, this is a game where it's kind of fucked, and it's not going to get better magically with a Deus Ex situation like that, where just bam, everything's better now. It had to have something like that. An alternate ending to what the game had that I would think would be appropriate is that, Joel accepts that Ellie has to die in order for the cure to work, but the surgery gets botched. Ellie dies, there's no cure, and then basically the same sequence that happens Joel getting to Ellie happens from Joel trying to get out of the hospital and just killing all the Fireflies because he's just pissed off, which I think would make a lot of sense. But also I think with the real ending and her asking Joel if if everything that he said was true. Because you don't know what happened between her almost dying by drowning and then her going into the surgery. My guess, for at least game-wise, is that before the surgery, she was told that she was going to die in this surgery in order to produce the cure, and it was explained to her that this is really important and blah blah blah. But because he was knocked out, you don't really know how much time was in between, but you'd figure that they'd tell her that she's going to die, and she's accepted that. And then at the end, when she asks him, and he says that everything he said was true, which was a lie that he had told her, she just kind of accepts it because she wanted to make him happy. And honestly, she really wouldn't have any other choice. How would she really get back to the Firefly lab or what she would think was left of it? I mean, she wouldn't know that he shot up the place. She would probably think that he left unscathed if she actually believed what he said without her actually knowing that she was going to die. But that's just my opinion on it. I think it's interesting. I kind of wanted to have a discussion sort of like this with other people and have their opinions on this, but unfortunately I just have to talk to myself here and kind of express my feelings about the game and just how great it was. But I mean, that's mainly all that I had to say. And the Henry shooting himself once his brother was a zombie, or sorry, they don't call them zombies in this game, they're just infected, but I saw that coming. That wasn't that big of a surprise when he shot himself. Also, in the beginning sequence when Sarah dies, I wasn't quite sure if she'd actually died because I knew there was a little girl in the game and I thought that was her. So I was a bit confused by that sequence, and I was like, oh, she actually did die. And I was like, oh shit, I probably should have felt some emotions there. But that's a great game, Last of Us. Contender for Game of the Year. I think that does it for this playthrough. So thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate you guys sticking around to listen to me talk about the game. Thank you very much. Trophies! Oh yeah!